Okay, so hello everyone, I'm Harmony T and I'm a funeral director. So today I'm going to talk about grief because a lot of people always talk about funerals, but they don't talk about what happens after funerals. Unbeknownst to most of us, we usually do not have that much time and space to grieve in Singapore during the funeral because it's a very hectic thing where the funeral setup has to be done within a few hours and everything will be concluded in 3 to 7 days. And during these 3 to 7 days, people will be streaming in from all over, like your friends, the decedent's friends, relatives, family members would come and visit, and that's where you have to kind of like be there with them, talk about the person, talk about your own feelings and kind of like entertain them because we are still in a very Chinese culture. We are an Asian society very deeply seated in Chinese ideologies where we kind of have to like 招待我们的客人, right, to be polite. So a lot of people don't talk about what happens after that, and that's where the grief really hits in. I have family members who we help to serve the funerals, and after the funerals they do come back to us to say, hey, I really do miss my father. What do I do now? And then I still miss him after 1 year, and these feelings are completely normal and valid. You don't have to beat yourself over it if you're not over it, because it's okay not to be okay. Always remember that everybody's grief journey is different. So that's where this grief journaling actually comes in. And I really like what's inside this grief journal, the fact that it talks about the different models of grief. So it talks about the dual process model of grief, where there's a loss-oriented and restoration-oriented activities where we sort of process our grief. So for loss-oriented activities, it has things like crying and mourning, talking about the decedent, looking through the old photos and reminiscing about the old time, being nostalgic. It's completely normal. And restoration-oriented is when we try out new activities in a bid to move on. We are humans and very fickle. Feelings are fleeting as well. One moment we feel happy, the next moment we feel totally not. And it's normal. And so in this dual process model of grief, it actually tells us that a lot of times we oscillate between these two states, restoration oriented as well as loss oriented. It may take like a few days, a few months, or even a few years. Each person's grief journey is unique, so do not compare yourself to others. If others seem to be moving on, it could be only on the surface. Sometimes people only post the happy stuff on social media. Very important not to compare. Always remember you're on your own journey. It's a 3-month journal where weekly there's a prompt to tell you to write down about your feelings. For myself, I really value writing down things. So I keep a personal journal as well to help me to process my thoughts and emotions. But for you, it might be different. It might be drawing, and you can find a way that is the most suitable for you. So that's about it for the dual process model of grief. And I hope that it helps you to better understand the feelings that you're going through now, especially if you're grieving. Do not be mistaken that grieving is only for when you lose someone that you loved you to death. It could be also a relationship issue where you break up with somebody and the person is no longer in your life. That is also another type of grief, or even the loss of a pet. We should never think that these feelings are different from the loss of someone, a human, because it's the same. The feeling is still grief. It's about losing someone. So hope this helped, and in the next TikTok video, I'm going to talk about another model of grief that I hope you will find helpful as well. Thank you for trusting in Harmony Funeral Care, your #1 bereavement buddy.